When I was 24 years old, I was the campus pastor of a large Christian university. And at the end of my first semester, I was drained. I was also a full-time graduate student. I was a newlywed, and my job was beyond me. I was overworked and understaffed, and I was drained. During Christmas break, I was spending some time with God, and I was really in my heart wondering if prayer makes a difference. Does it really make any difference? I was reading the Psalms, and I came to a psalm that changed my life. Psalm 106, verse 23, God's been talking about in this passage how Israel kept rebelling against Him, and finally, this was the day God had enough. He said, "No more." But then, verse 23, it says these words, "So the Lord said He would have destroyed them had not Moses, His servant, stood in the gap, beseeching Him to turn away His wrath and to not destroy them." Do you see what happened there? One man's prayers, Moses, changed history for an entire nation and for the whole world. Moses' prayer made a difference. I want to encourage you that your prayer makes a difference. Well, the rest of this story is after reading that, our student leaders came back to campus a couple days early for the beginning of the next semester, and I shared with them this verse and what God was teaching me, and I encouraged them to pray. We were going to have some special meetings to launch the new semester, and to pray that God would do more in their dorms than they could possibly imagine. Well, many of our student leaders got teams of students to pray all night prior to these special meetings. Well, I went to pick up the guest speaker, and I was concerned because it was obvious to me he was not in a spiritual condition to lead an entire campus into a week of spiritual emphasis. But when the service began, it became obvious it didn't matter. God was bigger than him, and God worked beyond him, and God worked in response to the prayers of all those students, and dozens of the kids in their dorms were saved. Many were recommitting their lives to Jesus. We had a real spiritual revival because prayer makes a difference. As you go to pray today, pray with faith. Thank God for what He's going to do, because your prayers make a difference. Your prayers can change the weather. Your prayers can change history.